Welcome to Apple Insider, everyone. It is Andrew here, and I have the iPhone 11 Pro Max and the brand new iPhone 12 Pro Max. In this video, we're going to break down all of the little differences between these two devices, help you decide if it's better sticking with your maybe existing 11 Pro Max or picking up a discounted one, or making the jump to the new 12 Pro Max. The first differences are pretty obvious, and that is the new industrial design of the 12 Pro Max. Apple has shifted away from those rounded edges to the new flat design that looks more similar to the new iPad Pros. Of course, it also comes in new colors. We have lost the midnight green option that we of course had here on the 11 Pro Max, and instead there's a new Pacific Blue to go alongside all new versions of Space Gray, Silver, and Gold. All those colors look slightly different than they did in the previous versions, and you probably saw examples of those in our other videos. Looking side by side between the two devices, you'll notice that the iPhone 12 Pro Max, not only is it just a little bit bigger, Apple has shifted the buttons, which makes them more accessible when you're holding this extra large phone. The power button, or the side button as Apple calls it, is slightly down, as are the volume buttons. They've all shifted down just a little bit, making them easier to press when you're holding the phone. The phone is also slightly larger. It is now a 6.7-inch display instead of a 6.5-inch display. The resolution was 2688 by 1242 with a pixel density of 458. Now it's 2778 by 1284. Still the same pixel density, just slightly higher resolution display, slightly larger display, 6.5 to 6.7 inches. The new phone is a bit more water resistant. While Apple still gives it the same IP68 rating, it can now withstand 6 meters of water for 30 minutes rather than just 4 meters of water for 30 minutes. So you can go a little bit deeper for the same amount of time, so definitely improved water resistant on the new device. Of course, the new devices have 5G. That's a big one. Millimeter wave 5G here in the US. Definite improvement if you're looking for that 5G connectivity. Thanks to 5G, you can also now take FaceTime HD calls over 5G as well as Wi-Fi. Previously on the old iPhone, you were limited to only getting those HD FaceTime calls if you were on Wi-Fi, but of course now 5G enables that new functionality. Internally, we have the A13 Bionic processor on the 11 Pro Max, and the 12 Pro Max is rocking the A14 Bionic processor. It has also made the jump from 4 gigs of RAM to 6 gigs of RAM, so improved RAM here. In our experience just so far, a quick hands-on video we did, the apps stay open a lot longer because it's able to keep more of those in memory, jumping between them, so a lot of multitasking. Beneficial here on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now the battery is technically a little bit smaller in the 12 Pro Max than the 11 Pro Max, but it is still rated for the same. It's still the same thing, 20 hours of video watching, I believe 12 hours of streaming video, and 80 hours of audio streaming. So still pretty impressive battery life claims, same as it was on the previous generation, even though in the teardowns we saw that the battery itself is a little bit smaller, likely due to new power efficiencies of that A14 Bionic processor. We have the same storage capacities, 128 gigs, 256, and 512 gigabyte capacities on the 12 Pro Max, same ones as we had on the prior generation. That new front display, like I said, this is the gorgeous 6.7-inch display, high resolution, bigger than it was in the past, and Apple has now coated the front of this with ceramic shield. So before we had Gorilla Glass on the prior generation, now Apple has a ceramic shield on the front, which makes it even more impact and drop resistant. Apple is not saying it's more scratch resistant, but it is more drop resistant than it was before. So upgraded front panel, the back panel has not changed. Apple's still just using that standard glass they were using before, which definitely is still prone to breaking. And if you do break it, you have to swap out the whole device, which sucks. But the front, at least, what you're looking through and touching everything, that's gonna be more protective. So if you are rocking a case, that's gonna be good because that front is going to be stronger than it ever has been in the past. Finally, thanks to iOS 14.2 that was recently released, we see 8 new wallpapers here on our 12 Pro Max. Now, let's go ahead and talk about probably one of the biggest changes in the devices, and that's going to be the cameras. So the cameras, there really is a lot to talk about here. There's been a huge shift between the iPhone 11 Pro and the 12 Pro, and there's an even bigger shift between the 12 Pro or the 11 Pro Max and the 12 Pro Max. So a lot of things to talk about. 3 cameras on the back. They are all still 12 megapixel sensors. So that part has not changed. Apple says they have an improved ultra wide lens, which also has lens correction. So there was a lot of distortion, a lot of curvature going on with that ultra wide lens, and that has been adjusted. So now there's some lens distortion correction happening on the 12 Pro Max. The wide angle lens, it has a new 7 elements lens cover. So it was a 6 element before. So there's an additional element there, which really improves and helps with that edge to edge sharpness of those photos. Now on the 12 Pro Max, it has a 47% larger sensor, which yields 87% better low light photos. Not exactly sure how Apple calculated 87% better photos, but the point is it allows in a whole lot more light and definitely improves the low light capabilities of the 12 Pro Max. That new larger sensor also requires new stabilization. So it has a new sensor shift stabilization, which Apple says really was about kind of getting it to work up to its standards versus the standard optical image stabilization. But they've combined those two together on the 12 Pro Max to get slightly better stabilization for shaky hands, moving cars, everything like that when you're taking shots with that wide angle lens. The telephoto lens has also improved. Apple has shifted from a 52mm equivalent to a 65mm equivalent, which is essentially taking from 2x optical zoom on the 11 Pro Max to 2.5x optical zoom on the 12 Pro Max. That's going to give you 2.5x optical zoom, 12x digital zoom when taking photos, and if you're taking a video, it goes from a 6x or 6 times digital zoom to 7 times digital zoom. So much improved zooming telephoto capabilities on the 12 Pro Max. Even though the aperture of that telephoto lens did decrease from an f2 to f2.2. Speaking of the aperture, the wide angle lens also decreased or increased its aperture. It went from an f1.8 to an f1.6. Again, allowing more light in, it increases the depth of field, a little bit better bokeh on those images. As far as new technical capabilities that are unlocked with that new A13 Bionic processor, we have a ton of new features for these guys. So the iPhone 12 Pro Max, this guy is capable of shooting in Apple ProRAW, which is coming in iOS 14.3. Now with Apple ProRAW, you're getting all the benefits of computational photography, such as Deep Fusion HDR, and you get the benefits of RAW, such as the increased definition in detail in highlights and shadows. So you can shoot in Apple ProRAW on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Not a thing on the prior generation. We now have Dolby Vision HDR video recording. You can shoot up to 60 frames per second in Dolby Vision HDR. It looks incredible. Not only can you shoot in Dolby Vision HDR, but you can edit it and share it all on your iPhone. It is absolutely incredible. We also have night mode portraits. Same long exposure shots that you can do in regular night mode, but now for portraits, and these low light portraits look absolutely incredible, better than they do on the 12 Pro. There is now night mode on the selfie cam. We have Deep Fusion on that selfie camera on the front of the phone. Apple has upgraded to Smart HDR3, and there's a new option for night mode time lapses. So you can shoot time lapses at night and they look pretty darn awesome. So those are pretty much all the camera changes that you can expect going from your 11 Pro Max to the iPhone 12 Pro Max. The final thing that I guess we want to mention here as far as changes between these two devices is going to be MagSafe. So MagSafe is a new ability. There's magnets embedded on the backs of these phones, and there's additional magnets there. So there's a ring of magnets and then an alignment magnet down towards the bottom. With MagSafe, you're able to attach a bunch of different accessories. So there's wallets, cases, mounts, docks, there's various photography accessories that are coming out that all are going to attach to these magnets on the back of your phone. So it's a mounting system as well as a way to charge your device. So these still charge with Qi wireless charging, 7.5 watts of Qi wireless charging, but you can now use MagSafe to charge, which gives you 15 watts of wireless charging. Basically just a different magnetic coil system, and the magnets hold everything in place perfectly aligned, so you're gonna get the best speeds possible. Because if Qi wireless charging, if you're off half an inch, you're gonna dramatically decrease your charging abilities. That speed is going to be hit quite a bit. So new MagSafe capabilities on the latest phones. Otherwise, I guess this isn't really a change, but the new phones, of course, do not come with a charger or earbuds in the box. So if you want either of those, make sure you pick them up separately when you're making the transition, because it still comes with a Lightning to USB-C cable, just not a USB-C power brick or a set of Lightning earbuds. So that is it. Those are all of the changes, every single one, between the iPhone 11 Pro Max and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think of the new iPhone 12 Pro Max? Have you tried them out for yourself yet? What do you think of the new features? Let me know over on Twitter at Andrew_OSU, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.